Welcome back to Mountainfilm in Telluride. Alley Car Troxels down on Main Street.
Every year, the crew here at Mountainfilm gets to sit down with some of the most fascinating guests in an interview series called Minds of Mountainfilm. Within these discussions, we get to find out what inspires the films and the ideas that are here today. Now we're going to speak to big-time Hollywood director Tom Shadyac. He's a very big supporter of the film festival, as well as the town of Telluride itself.
Hey, welcome to the Minds of Mountainfilm. I'm Sarah Holbrooke, and I'm a television news producer and a big fan of Tom Shadyac, who's here with me today. Tom is a director, and he has his first documentary here, I Am. The house was packed. You sat right in the middle there.
Yeah,
what was your experience as you were sitting there watching people watch your film?
You know, half of it is survival, you know, because you've seen it so
breathe
many
Breathe in, breathe out.
Yes, it's true. Just try to get out of your way. And if you can get out of your way, which I do occasionally, you feel something. You know, you feel something in the room. And I felt that there was a connection, kind of, that there was an enthusiasm for what we were trying to do and say. And there's this Rumi poem, which is about feeling the buoyancy, and that's what I felt last night, this buoyancy.
Well, for those people who are watching this who haven't seen I Am the film, you should not be surprised that there was a connection, because scientists say there's a connection. If you watch I Am, you would know. These scientists are telling us.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the connection.
Well, for years, though, we've been told that there's not a connection. You know, we've been told, you know, every culture hums to a story. You know, even Nazi Germany had a story, which was there was a superiority, and that allowed them to do terrible things to other races. Well, our culture has a story too, and a lot of that is coming from Darwin, who we have misunderstood to think it's all about competition and the survival of the fittest. And then science has also crafted a story for us, which isn't always accurate. Science is an evolving discipline, but it's told us that the only way I can affect you is to push you and, you know, touch you and prod you. Very Newtonian. But science now is opening up to all these other ways we affect each other, you know, through energy, word, behavior, intention. And it really is pointing to this idea of connection. And quantum physics has said it for years, you know, that somehow quantum particles, when separated,
they spin the same way, right?
It's called spooky action at a distance. Even Einstein blew him away. He coined the term spooky action at a distance. So if it spooked Einstein, it ought to wake us up.
So what were some of the things that you learned when you were making your film, either about the subject matter or about the process, that you want to share with me today?
Well, first, subject matter. You know, I came to the film with some very definite philosophical, ethical ideas that I had sort of come to after reading the likes of Emerson and Thoreau and poets, etc. But the interviews really gave me evidence. And I think that faith can have evidence. You don't just have to believe because people tell you. You can feel it. You can touch it sometimes. And there's so much evidence that they gave me from the story of argon, which, again, see the movie, about how argon connects us.
Here's mine.
I've been breathing it all along because it's already wafted. I've been breathing it all along. Just so many, you know, from the science of the heart now to the science, the behavioral sciences of how we affect each other and how we function as human beings. I always wanted to know if we really are aggressive and competitive in our nature, why is it that those states break us down? We've known that for years, that aggressive states give us early onset ulcers, they deplete our immune systems. Well, if that's who we are, that's what we built our society around.
Right, then that would actually make us stronger, not weaker, and it hasn't.
Why? Yeah, exactly, so that doesn't make sense. But now they're finding out the opposite, that compassionate states, loving states, which they can now measure through interstitial heartbeats, the beat between the hearts, but they know that renews your physiology. Those things of mother that you feel, that love, that makes you healthy.
Anna DeVere Smith was sitting in your chair a few moments ago, and she was saying that her father or grandfather always told her, the more you repeat the voice, the more it becomes part of you. And I wonder if the more you act like a child, the more free you are of the more adult constraints that are keeping us from the truth. I wonder if there's some kind of childlike activity that you, Tom Shadyac, you know, think of practicing that keeps you closer to the truth that you want.
I'll give you one example of how right I think that statement is. I had gotten so serious for so many years in show business. You know, the guy who does the wackiest comedies is the most serious person.
I'm having a hard time.
I know, but I'm deadly,
uniting those two ideas, but go on.
I'm deadly serious about this discipline, so much so that I stopped playing, you know? So after I did Bruce Almighty, I just had enough of an instinct, or enough, I guess, wisdom to listen to my instinct to say, buy a bike. So I bought a bike. And that action has changed so many people's lives, because I now buy bikes for other people who may not be able to afford them, and it's returned a sense of play to me. I'm in really good physical shape. It brings me such joy. I play every day.
My playful bike is right over there, and it's a banana seat with monkey bars.
Fantastic.
That truly makes me transported to the time when I was 11.
Fantastic.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Fantastic. I haven't done the banana seat yet.
It's actually really uncomfortable. I have to stand up all the time, but I love it enough that I don't mind.
The banana seat, where's Katie Lee when you need her? These analogies, I won't.
Yeah, let's stay away from it.
touch it.
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, that does kind of bring you back to the state of childhood.
It
Yeah.
does. We have this thing, like, we're so sort of washed in our ways of culture, we have to call it exercise. Kid would not even know what exercise is.
Right.
It's just play.
Fun.
So I don't exercise, I play. Every day I try to play an hour to 2 hours every day regardless.
That's the recipe from the doctor. Dr. Shadyac here says play for 2 hours a day.
I agree. It's literally the cure of obesity. Like, let's end the discussion.
Yeah.
But it's this is a paradigm shift that I think part of that discussion that has to take place, because our culture says, no, that's not serious. Get serious about your life. It's okay to work. If I told you I worked 12 hours on a film today, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like, what are we doing? Normal. If I say I bike for 3 hours today, you'd be like, oh my God, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, what are you, nuts? That's how out of balance we are. You know, we have to return play as an essential part of who we are.
Yeah.